everyone, Ernie Tech here, and what I want to do in this video is talk about ISPF type editors, XEDIT type editors that you might want to download and try to play with on your own computer outside of the TN32 emulator environment. And the reason why I'm doing this is because we've created, us being the brain trust at Ernie Tech Heavy Industries, all four of us now, well actually all three of us, and four occasionally, have created something that we're going to throw into the mix that we think is a contender for the Nobel Prize of almost useless software. But anyway, you tell me. There are a number of things that you can do if you want to play with the editor, the style of editor, the ISPF-ish style of text editor that you might find in a mainframe, like an MVS 3.8J or something to that effect. There's a bunch of them out there. I've downloaded a few. The two I've downloaded are, let me drag them over so I can show you what I'm talking about. The two that I played with, and do the dragon. The one is the Hessling editor, and that has been around a long time. It's very good if you're going to use it for Rex editing, because apparently you can get an interpreter to run within it. I haven't, because I'm too lazy to figure it out. It's rather complicated because, frankly, they're all rather complicated. They've got a lot of command options, and they're trying their best to create an XEDIT style environment. Now, you won't find that, I don't believe, naturally in the Michigan terminal system, but you're going to find something akin to that in the Music SP environment, MVS, and so on. But there it is. It's what it looks like, and I'm not going to fool around with it because I just don't have the time. I'd rather be working on something more, I don't know, more interesting? Yeah, I guess so. I'll knock this one off here. The other one that we found out there in the world is, let me drag this guy over, is this one. This has also been around a long time. The SPF/SE environment by a gentleman named of Tim Tativa. There's his GitHub page, and you can just find that on GitHub by looking for SPF-editor, and you'll find it, and it is pretty cool. The only thing I don't like is this particular edition, the graphic edition. There's other editions. I don't particularly care for the graphics environment, the GUI, because that's not how we are rolling. But anyhow, that is what it looks like. You can open up something. And let's open it up here. Let's say I'm going to open up Hello Exec. And that's what it looks like. As you would expect, your prefix area, your text area, your command area, things of that nature. It will do the job. It's got a ton of different options. But again, this particular iteration, the GUI iteration, is not in keeping with what I was hoping. There are the versions of this, I think, for DOS and so on. But anyhow, what other things were out there? Well, there was something called the UniSPF from the Workstation group. Couldn't really find it. The link was bad. This SPF Lite, and this is sort of like that hybrid editor. Same thing, hybrid editor XE. I went to find it and found dead links. Tritus SPF. And I can't find links for that either. There are other editors out there called XEdit clones, KEdit from Mansfield, SEdit from Benarioy, can't even pronounce it, the Mark Hessling editor, and so on. But you'll be around forever trying to find them all. So what's the reason for making our own? Well, the reason for making our own is to challenge, and B, it's to give people a general feeling of what it might be like. So that's kind of what it looks like, and this is the subset of stuff that we've created. Have we kept it completely in line with the way things are supposed to be? Certainly not. For instance, the right control key is not the enter key. The enter key is the enter key. The enter key is not the new line key. It takes you back up to the command area. There are a number of things which don't fall completely in line with the perfect SPF editor. But the reason we've created it is to allow people, without having to go into a TN3270 environment, to experience this, learn a little bit about it, and so maybe they're not intimidated if they find themselves dropped into an MVS environment or something to that effect. So what have we done here? Well, this is not it right here. I'll show you the real deal in a second here, but these are all the different commands, the subsets that we created. It's why we call it the ISPF-ish editor. So it's sort of like it. It looks like it. It feels like it. It acts like it. But if you know how to use the real deal, you're going to say, hey, where's that command? That's missing. True. That is very true. But we do, whoops, come on. We do allow you to use the prefix area to get in and add lines, delete lines, and so on using the I command, the A, the B, the what have you. Did I miss that? Yeah, I did miss that. There is a flip over between the command mode and the edit mode. You flip between the prefix area and the text area. You can save files. It does sort of a job of keeping track of where you are as far as columns and rows. Doesn't always work, and I know why. We know why, but we're too lazy to fix it right now. And keep doing that. And we tried to get the PF keys, but we're not using Racing Mars's Go 3270 environment, so it's not like we're trying to make the AID keys function. All we're doing is telling the computer, if the person presses F7, go to the back, go down. If it presses F8, go up or go to the next page. And that's it. So it's an emulator. Boy, is it ever. Not even an emulator. It's like a simulator. All right, having said all that, I'm not a very good marketer anyway. If I was a good marketer, I would say this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. But it's not. It's something to play with. It's a toy. It's to introduce people to this environment that they have never been introduced to before. So let me just bring this over here into a blank area and show you what she looks like. Well, there's what she looks like. And before I get into it, let me tell you a little about what we did. So there are a couple of libraries available in Go. One's called Bubble T and Bubbles. And that is what lets us move the cursor around and do things in the command line. So it almost creates a GUI without a GUI. So that's a little different than if you were in a 3270 environment. Well, I guess maybe it isn't, but you get the gist. It's a localized way to make a command environment be a little more functional. So that's Bubble T, and yeah. Anyhow, this is written in Go. It's probably top maybe 300 lines, maybe 350. I don't know. What we've been doing is we've been letting one of the guys who knows how to use Git set up the repository, give everybody a role. And we're not ready to release it as open source because we don't think it's good code. We think it's actually kind of crappy code. And I would not be comfortable letting that into the wild. Even if people said they could improve it, it could be, no, not yet. But it does work. And it does show people how to use this kind of ISPF editor environment. And that was the whole gist. All right, enough talk. What does it do? Well, right now we are in the command mode. Now you can't tell, and one of the things we should have done is created a little icon, a little cursor, but we didn't. And if I type in save and I say hello.exec, now it overrides it completely. There's already a file there. It says it doesn't even tell me you're going to overwrite it. It just overwrites it. So again, it's par for the course. Now, we've just done that. Now I can go and I can actually start editing. So if I press F6, that'll put this bar cursor right into the prefix area. And let's say for fun I want to put in maybe 3 lines. I can just type in I3, which is typical of what you would do. And then it adds 3 more lines. And you can go up and down. If you notice over here, it says what line we're on. And if I just start typing, oops, you got to press the enter key first. See this little guy right here? See this little thing changed over to this double caret? So now if I start typing, test, this is the voice of world control. And then I can just do the same thing. Hello, world. I can type, fumble fingers. Hello, world. Once I do that, if I press the enter key, it takes it back to this prompt right here. All that is saying then is you're no longer in this area, you're back up here. And if I type in save, it's going to save hello exec. The same way it would do if you were in, the real deal environment. Let me pull this out for a second and go back for one quick second. So this is the kind of things you can do with it. You can save or quit. Now, if you type in quit, without having created the file at all, you just started, putting text in, you didn't name it, it's going to it's going to just say, yeah, you need to name it unless you give it this bang at the end. So that kind of falls in line with my interpretation of how VI works. But anyhow, enter, you switch between the modes. So you were in command mode, we'll go over here, and the actual line mode, navigation, up and down arrow keys, or F7 or F8. Edit mode, you can go into it by hitting the F4 key. F4 key will take it into the editor. F6 will take it into the prefix. But once you're into the prefix area anyway, you're just going to go right into the editor anyhow. Activate the prefix area, which you just did. These are the 4 basic things you can do. You can add lines above, or insert lines, add above, add below, or insert below. You can delete lines. I forgot to put the number at the end. PF keys are not really PF keys because there's no AID functionality because they're not using the Racing Mars Go 3270 environment, so it's just what I call them. F1 pops the help up, and so on. So let's go back over. Drag her back over. Come on back. All right. So now I'm in here. If I do press F1, it'll give you that exact thing. And if I press F8, it'll tell you what it can do. And F7, take you back out again. I think we did a pretty good job. I'm kind of pleased. I'm kind of pleased with it. I think it's pretty cool. Is it a subset of how things in ISPF work? Yeah, a very small subset. But if you put this in front of somebody and say, this is what it looks like. This is the kind of environment you're going to be in, so don't get intimidated. And you can do it right smack here on your own computer, and you don't have to be in an actual emulation, the real deal, or in a proxy running a Go 3270 world. That's kind of neat. The other thing we want to do, and we're not sure how to do it yet, so we are researching. And remember, this is all a bunch of retired guys, and we're researching it diligently, is make some utilities that we can use in the PowerShell environment of Windows, or hopefully in the command line or the command environment or the terminal environment in Linux, to emulate the actual environment of a MVS type of a situation. Maybe implement some commands, do some rudimentary job control type environment, set up emulated hardware using the kind of config files that everybody uses. That's ambitious, isn't it? But we're going to try. We've got a lot of time on our hands, and it's a lot of fun. So anyway, I wanted to show you this. I'll put the link where you can get it. Again, we're not really ready to release the source code because we don't think it's quality in any way, shape, or form. And who wants to have that out there? But it does show how this works. It is definitely a proof of concept, and this is the way it works. So we want to hop out of this. What we would normally do is just type in save. That'll overwrite the hello exec. It's out there. If I press F3, that will take me back out to the command prompt. There I am. So if I type, we're in PowerShell, so I think I have cat hello.exec. Yep, there it is. Hello, test, this is the worst. So it does work. It does open and save files. It does let you do those things we talked about, and this is the fun of it. And there's the actual Go. Look at all that stuff. My goodness, look at all the overhead it adds when you compile it. But okay, I thought you'd have fun with this. It is mainframe-related fun, and that's what we're here for. Thanks again for subscribing. Please subscribe if you haven't, and we'll come up with something new on the next video. All right, anyhow, that's all for now. Talk to you later.